G'day, Argy Bargy crew. Hope you're having a fantastic day today and your family's happy and healthy. Okay, I've got myself a cup of coffee and a couple of biscuits. Just excuse me while I have a sip. That's better. Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at how to get onto a dedicated server. Well, actually, how to set it up so that you can, how to find it, and how to log on to a dedicated server. What I mean by set up is not actually set up the dedicated server, but set your game up so that you can find the server a lot easier. And yeah, this is for ATS and ETS2. So it'll cover both games. I'll be in ATS, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to ETS2. What I'll be doing here is exactly the same on ETS2. All right. So the very first thing that the very first thing I should do before I go any further is to let you know that I have a Discord channel, and yeah, also we use Trucksbook for our VTC, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below as well. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. It helps me out immensely, and I'll be greatly appreciative if you do that. All right, so the first thing you need to do is set up your game to find dedicated servers. Now, a lot of people say, well, you can find dedicated servers. Yes, you can, leaving the game as standard, but you'll only find what they call 8-slot servers, meaning that if you have a dedicated server that only has 8 slots, yeah, you'll find them, not a problem. But if you've got a dedicated server like us, which has multiple slots, not just the normal 8 slots, you'll need to adjust something in your configuration file. And don't panic, it's not hard, it's really easy. I'll show you how to do it. First thing you need to do is go to either your Euro Truck Simulator 2 folder or your American Truck Simulator folder. And that's easy to find. It's normally in Documents, American Truck Simulator, or Documents, Euro Truck Simulator 2. All right, so you just got to find that folder and you'll be right. Then come down here and find your config.cfg. Now, I always recommend that if you're going to do any adjustments in your config file, that you do a backup of it. As you can see here, I have a copy of the default config file. So if anything happens, you can always revert back to the default one. So remember that, make a backup copy. And to do that, it's quite easy. You just click on it and you go copy. So right click, come down here, copy, and then you've made a copy. Leave it sitting there. That way, if you ever need to revert back to it, you can just change the name back to config.cfg, get rid of the copy. All right. So now once you've found the config.cfg, you open it up in Notepad and you're going to look for something called convoy. Find next. And then you'll see this line here. Now, I haven't changed it yet because I wanted to make sure you could see what it looks like in your config file. I'm getting tongue-tied today. It's coffee, I think. Okay, so it's UZ space G underscore max G underscore convoy underscore size 8. So this is saying that it will find convoys that have 8 slots or dedicated servers that have 8 slots. I will change this now to 128 because that is the maximum that you can get. It's 128 slots. In other words, 128 trucks can be on the convoy. Okay, but the reason I do that is because we have multiple slots on our dedicated server, and you can change that to whatever you want. So, for example, if the dedicated server you're going on is a 20 slot, then you would just change it to 20. So Gmax convoy size 20 or 10 or whatever it may be. You just change it to that size. Or if you want to find every dedicated server there is at the moment, put it at 128. That's why I go 128, because I like to check out all the other dedicated servers as well, because I may possibly want to jump on to one of those if they don't mind. But like I say, change it from the 8 to whatever number your dedicated server will be, or leave it at 128, and that way you will see all of them. And then once you've done that, you come up to File, and you click Save. Simple. All right, so you're just changing this line here from 8 to whatever number you choose to match your server. Okay? Now this is all assuming that your server is already set up. Okay? I'm not going to show you how to set up a dedicated server, like I say. This is to show you how to get to the server from the game. Okay, so now once you've done that, and you've saved the config file, that's all you have to do in there. Right, so then start the game. And once the game is started, I'll come back to you. Okay, so once the game is started, make sure that you're going to choose a profile that matches your dedicated server. Now, for example, if you look up here, I've got RG Convoy, and I've called this profile RG Convoy for a special reason. And that reason is that whatever the profile is that you're choosing, the mods, the modifications, if you've got any, must match those of the dedicated server. Okay, so once the mods load up, might take a little while, and I'm doing this in real time so you can see how long it will take. Okay, bang, there you go. So now you can see that these are the mods that we have on our server. Okay, there's just 10 mods. We try to keep it to a minimum. We may be adding pro mods to it very soon, because we've done a poll on the Discord channel and asked if everybody wants pro mods, and so far it's been an outstanding yes. They all want pro mods Canada on, so we'll probably be adding that. But what you've got to do is you've got to make sure that you've got the same mods that are on the server, or else you won't be able to get onto it because your mods won't match. So make sure whatever mods are on your dedicated server, you've got a list of them, and then add them to your profile. Whoever's set up the dedicated server should have a list of those for you, and they'll be able to provide it to you so that you can then add those mods to that profile that you'll be using on the server. All right, so again, you must have the same mods as the server. All right, so that's what I've done now. I've added those to the profile that I'll be using on the server. Okay, so step 1, change the config file. Step 2, make sure that the profile you're using has the correct mods on it. So once that is all in place, then you'll move on to starting the game. Okay, so now once you're in the game, the next step is to go to Convoy lobby. You'll get this little online experience notification, and it will tell you all about code of conduct, privacy policy, etc. Read that if you wish. Then once you come in here, this is your Convoy lobby. Go to Advanced Filters and make sure that you can tick any of these that you want, but the main things to remember are, number 1, session type. You want dedicated server. So if you look in this drop down, I'm getting a little bit of laggy there with my mouse. So no preference, hosted server or dedicated server. Now, if you're going to a dedicated server, then you want dedicated server. Hosted server means that someone is hosting it on their computer through their game, and no preference means you'll probably end up with both. But I put dedicated server because that's what I'm hoping to join. So you choose that. Then any of the other preferences down here are totally up to you. Then the other thing you can choose is sessions with mods, because your dedicated servers get bound to have mods, and session with optional mods if it has optional mods. If it doesn't, then you don't have to tick it. But I always have them both ticked. That way I cover all my bases. You can also tick the rest up here, but that's personal preference. All right. So those are the 3 things that you should have ticked or chosen. So session with mods, session with optional mods, dedicated server, and anything else is actually just preference, whatever you choose. Then click apply, click OK, and you will have all the servers come up. Now, as you can see here, there are a ton because we've done that 128. Now, if you had done, say, 16, as in this one, you'd only see anything from 8 up to 16. But because we've put 128, we can now see all servers that are on dedicated system. And if you want to, you can change your latency to see what servers are giving you the best ping or the best speed. But again, your latency is not overly critical as long as it's not sky high like 400 or something. Then you'll get a lot of lag. But if it's around 200 or 250 and below, you're normally pretty safe. Okay, so now what you do, once you've set your advanced filters and you've changed, well, you've changed your config, you've then gone into the game and you've made sure that all your mods match the mods that are on the server. You've come in here, you've changed your advanced filters. Now you should see the dedicated server with the name that you were supplied with. Now, if you can't find it, there is another way to do it, but only if you can't find the server. You would need to request the server ID from whoever set up the dedicated server, and they'll be able to give that to you, and then you just put that in the search function and search for it that way. Or you can just simply type in the name of the server, like so. It will then, oh, you've got to click the search button here. It will then try to fetch the session for you. It may take a little while. And again, I'm doing this in real time so you can see how long it will take. Be patient and it will eventually find something for you. It just sometimes takes quite a lot of time. Boom, there we go. So as you can see, argy-bargy is there. Now, when you search for a dedicated server, make sure you're using the first words, because if you put the last words in, it won't find it. It has to be at least the first word or first search phrase, if you know what I mean. So in this case, you could even search for it under just RG, but I put argy-bargy to make it a lot more precise. You could put the whole thing in if you want. It's up to you. But it has to be at least the first word, because using just transport wouldn't find it. Okay, so now once you've done all those things, and again, they're quite simple things, once you get into a routine, you'll be able to do that quite quickly. Then click on the actual server itself, and then come down here at the bottom, and you'll see Join Convoy. Now, if it's password protected, which this one is, you require that password from your host that's got the dedicated server up and running, and you'll have to put that into the password field. Now, before you do that, make sure that everything here matches what your mods are, etc. So make sure that your requirements are matched here. So for example, as you can see, it says installed, installed, installed. If it said deactivated or not installed or missing or whatever, it means that something is wrong here and you have to fix that. So if something is other than installed written here, you'll have to go back and check your mods again and make sure they're right. Or you could click this activate session mods button down the bottom here, and it may fix it for you. So it may just simply be that you've got them in the wrong order or something like that. And by clicking this, 9 times out of 10, it will fix the problem for you. If it doesn't, then you'll have to go back, like I say, and check that your mods are the correct mods. If you've got one extra or you've got one that's incorrect or whatever, you'll have to remove that and then come back here and make sure that that all says installed and there's no extras or no missing or anything like that. Okay, we interrupt your regularly scheduled program to show you what it looks like if you have the incorrect mods or the incorrect setup to join the server. Now, like I said, if you've got the incorrect, you'll find different messages like not found local, absent on server, etc., etc. So you can see that I can't join this one because of the fact that my mods are different, and also it says here mod mismatch warning, and then it will tell you what mods are different or mismatched on the server. So that way you'll know and you can correct the problem. Also, you'll have a big red dot, so you'll know that, yes, I can't join that. The yellow dot is normally, again, saying that you might be able to join. I think that's what it means. Don't quote me on that, because you'll have the green. It's just like stoplights. You've got the green, the get ready to go, or get ready to stop, and stop, meaning doesn't work, might work, does work. All right? So hopefully that explains what it will look like if it's incorrect. Again, it will say all these messages and mod mismatch warning. Okay, thank God. Up here, this just tells you what's enabled on the server. So damage between players enabled, traffic's enabled, service collisions is disabled, meaning that, oh, excuse me, if you're in a service center, you won't collide with your fellow players, etc., etc. All it tells you here everything that's on the server. Then it tells you what map module it is, California, meaning the base map, plus all the other DLCs, if that's what's on the person's server that set it up for you. But at least you know now that it will be the correct map module, and you can then click join, and you'll be advised here that joining a large number of participants, performance of the session may vary depending on the host's hardware or mutual network performance. What that means is you might experience some lag. But again, that's neither here nor there. Let me just do this. I'm just getting the password. Bear with me. Sorry about that. I forgot to put the password in. So once you've put the password in, all you simply do is go confirm. And now it will say you are now in a convoy session, communication hotkeys, menu chat, in-game chat, Y. In-game quick replies, CB radio broadcast, hold X, or button 8. Simple, really. Okay. Then you just click OK. Now you may think, ooh, that just looks like the normal game. And of course it does, because it is just the normal game, but you're in a convoy. But if you come back down here now, active convoy has been lit. Before it would have just been convoy lobby, and this would have been grayed out. But now that you've joined the dedicated server, it has active convoy. So now you can click on that, and you can see everybody that is in the server at this moment. And as you can see, there's a couple of guys in a convoy, Showboy and Jahanks, or however you pronounce it. I apologize if I butchered your name there. I think it's Jahank 73. And you get to see their latency, role on the server if they have one, and the fact that they're in a convoy, and it shows the job. Okay, now if you want to join their convoy, right, which you don't have to, you can still just be on the server and just play as a single player. But if you want to join their convoy, actually they're on 2 separate jobs. Anyway, irrelevant. If they were in the same convoy, you would see that they were both have the same job, but because they're actually just on single player at the moment. But if I want to join in on his job, I just click on here and highlight that player, and then I would click view and take the same job. And that way I join their convoy. So again, let me click off of there. As you can see, it's grayed out because I don't have any job at the moment. But if I wanted to say join Showboy's convoy, I would just click on his name and highlight it, and then click view and take same job. And then from there, it will show you what the job is. It's from Seattle to Houston. It tells you the time that it's expected and the job income if it's completed, and will show you the actual cargo that you'll be carting. And the job equipment that you require, which is your own truck. Okay? So that's how you do it. Now, I'm not going to take the job because I'm just doing this for the purposes of the video, or the instructional video. And again, we'll go back here. So In here, you will see everybody that's on the server. Say you had 20 people, there would be 20 people down here, and you could join in any of these people's convoy if you wish by just simply clicking, highlighting, and clicking view and take same job. So it's that simple. All right. So with that all done, hopefully I didn't confuse you even more. Hopefully it explained it clearly. And you'll now be able to get onto a dedicated server in either ATS or ETS2. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video and it was instructional. If it was, please give me the thumbs up. If not, give me the thumbs down. Tell me what I could do better, because I'm always looking to improve. And like I say, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And share this with a friend if you think someone will benefit from it. And hopefully, if you did enjoy it, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.